Let's take a look at Tasmania. So there have been very large fires in central Tasmania and also in the south. Fires here, and they've been going on for many days. I'm not sure how many, but we can take a closer look at these using the polar orbiting satellite. So let's take a look at that. This is the Terra Modis NASA polar orbiting satellite view, and you can see the fires quite clearly. And this was in the morning, and by afternoon this is what it looked like. This is the next satellite, the Aqua Modis, and it looks like, certainly when you compare the two, that the fires have picked up during the day today. And certainly in terms of the smoke, this is some of the most smoke I think I've seen over the last several days. So it's obviously actually quite clear across Tasmania, unusually clear, I would say. So we can look in even more detail at this fire, in fact, using the Sentinel satellite. But before we do that, let's take a look back at this fire and see when it got started. And so now I've jumped back to January 13th, and we're looking at the Aqua Modis. And I'm also overlaying the fire and thermal anomalies, which are listed up here. So January 13th, January 14th, January 15th. And January 15th appears to be the critical day where a lot of thermal anomalies suddenly start popping up, and in particular this large mass in the middle here. So let's see how it developed. January 16th, 17th, still see the thermal anomaly, and then it grows to be larger as it's blowing in the west-northwesterly winds on this day. Lots of fires off into the southwest and over in the south as well. That's January 18th. January 19th, it looks like the fire is there, and it's also picked up again. The wind's shifting a little bit now, more westerly, and then here the winds are southwesterly. You can see by the plume, and the fire has changed its shape as a result by the looks of things. And then let's go forward to today, and well, back to January 21st, and then today. So you can see how it has spread, grown, and continues to burn, and has been burning for some time. So let's get to the Sentinel-2 high-resolution satellite imagery, and for that I'm using EO browser, which anyone can use, freely available. You have to register to get the finer details, and I may produce a video in the future that explains how to use this. It's pretty simple. So let's take a look at this. So the Sentinel-2 imagery, there isn't anything from the last couple of days, but we have to go back to January 20th. Of course, the central fire, this is the one in the middle of Tasmania. You can see the Great Lake in the middle, is burning at this time, so January 20th. But the advantage of this imagery, of course, is that it is super high resolution, very detailed. In fact, it's so detailed that on this day I know that you can actually see the flames of the bushfire in red. Now this is different from some other images you may have seen, which deliberately highlight the infrared areas, the areas that are heated up. As far as I understand it, this is actual visible flames, these red areas you can see here. So there you have it. That was the fire on January 20th. The Sentinel-2 satellite also provides infrared, as I mentioned, output, and this is what you can see here, and this shows you the hot spots. So now you can see the areas which are likely to be actively burning or recently burning, which are still very hot, and you'll see this big area of hotness here. For this, to get this, you just click on false color urban. If you have EO browser, you can get this up yourself. But just to be clear, this is January 20th, so a couple of days ago, and not the fire has, and the burn area has significantly expanded since this day, but we just don't have the imagery currently to show what it looks like from Sentinel-2. So let's take a quick look at how it looks going forward for these large fires in Tasmania. This is the Bureau of Meteorology's access forecast for Tasmania, and the colors and the shaded regions indicate rainfall. So what we want to see is rain over central Tasmania, and this goes forward through to next Monday. And if you look, there are just a few spots of rain, but it does not look like in this model there is significant rain over central Tasmania, which is unfortunate and not good news. For the winds, I'm looking at 850 hectopascals, which is the pressure and representative of somewhat elevated pressure, but it's probably around the highest mountain height pressures you get in Tasmania. Roughly speaking, it's probably going to give the best indication of the plume direction and maybe the fire movement to some extent, although there's going to be a lot of other variability. Anyway, regardless, let's just take a quick look. So at the moment, today, you can see the winds are westerly, so the plume is spreading off towards the east in those winds. Let's have a look at what happens as we go forward. I'll go through frame by frame until there's a change. So by Wednesday, their winds are shifting to more southwesterly, so in this situation you would expect the smoke to shift up towards this direction if the fire is sort of here. And let's move forward. Okay, so then it becomes light winds, so the smoke you'd expect it to collect. The fire movement should become less extreme as the winds lighten, and they stay light with some variability. Looks like northerlies on Thursday, and then strong northwesterlies coming in on Friday. So Friday, this is quite concerning because these strong winds will pick up the fire. Presumably it will still be burning on Friday and pushing the fire rapidly towards the southeast on Friday. So it looks like Friday is quite a concern, so I would definitely keep an eye on that. If you're in Tasmania, keep up with the Tasmania Forest Service, the Bureau of Meteorology, particularly on Friday, I would say. Yeah, so just looking a little bit more at Friday, because of those strong winds, it is a cold front approaching and rain coming in, but the problem is this model at least does not put rain over the fire area, so you just get the winds, some increase in humidity with the front, but rain is not a huge amount, if any. It actually doesn't look like it's raining at all in certain areas in the center, but this can all change, of course. So I'm just going to leave it at that, wrap this video up. Just a quick look at this. As always, follow the Bureau of Meteorology for the updates, and look out on Friday for these strong northwesterly winds coming in, potentially shifting the fire directions. You know, these fires are not going to go out, they're going to be burning on Friday, and so yes, that is a thing to watch out for. Right, I'm going to move on to the next thing in another video. So let me know if you have any more information about these fires or anything else I should put in these videos.